My name is, well, it doesn't matter. No one remembers names here anyway. I'm a British soldier. I'm 23 years old. Or maybe 20. I've lost count of the days. I came to France with ideas of glory, of heroes, of returning home as a man. Pause, that was 7 months ago. Today I'm going to tell you about the day that ... Well, the day that killed my soul. I'm still breathing. My heart still beats, but the part of me that was human, it died on July 1st, 1916, at the Battle of the Somme. Long pause, let me take you back to that moment, to the horror I witnessed, because someone needs to tell it. Someone needs to remember, and it seems I'm the one. I was working in a factory when I enlisted, December 1915. My boss said it was my duty. My country needed me. Pause melancholically, actually. I was bored. I wanted adventure. I wanted to be brave. My mother cried when I left. She knew, no, she didn't want to know. No mother does. My younger sister gave me a photograph of herself. She said, when you miss home, look at this. Pause, that photograph is in my pocket now, completely destroyed by mud and dampness. I can barely see her face, but I can see the place where she was. Sound of sad wind training marches, more training. We learned to march in straight lines. We were told discipline was strength, that being in formation was courage. No one told us we were a perfect target. Pause. So in May 1916, we went to the Western Front, France, near the Somme River. There were rumors that something big was coming, an offensive, a chance to finally win the war. The officers were hopeful, confident. I'm not sure what expression was on their faces. Now I understand it was illusion. Sound of marching in background. We arrived at the trenches on June 24th, a Monday. Do you know what it's like to be in a trench? It's not like in the movies. It's a hole, a dirty, wet, foul-smelling hole. Rats the size of cats running under your feet. Sick men around you, some coughing, some mentally lost. We'd seen death before. Disease, poor hygiene. But that was something different. It was like being in the intestines of some monstrous creature. Pause of 2 seconds. My Lieutenant Williams, called us on June 25th. He said, boys, tomorrow the greatest bombardment in the history of war begins. He was smiling, as if that was ... Good. We're going to bombard the Germans for 7 days. Nothing will survive. On July 1st, you will walk to victory. Pause. Some men applauded. Some even laughed me. I only thought of my mother. June 26th, 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up to explosions. It wasn't an alarm. It wasn't a warning. It was the end of the world. Sound of cannons firing repeatedly. The bombardment began. Boom, 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 constantly without stopping. For 7 full days, the Germans were only 600 meters away. Can you imagine? 600 meters. And for 7 days, we heard continuous explosions. The ground shaking. When you're in a trench and the ground starts shaking, you think you're going to die. Pause. Some men prayed. Some vomited. Some just sat and stared at nothing. Me, I sat and thought about my home. Tone becomes softer. My home in Manchester. Small, 3 rooms. My mother planted flowers in the front. Sunflowers, she used to say. The sunflowers remind me that there's still light in the world. Pause while the bombardment continued. I tried to visualize those sunflowers. Imagine their smell. The bright yellow. Anything to not think about where I was. The sound of explosions in background. The days passed. 26, 27, 28, 29. We lost 2 men. Not to the Germans. Not yet. One had a seizure. He just fell and started convulsing. When he woke up, he didn't recognize anyone. They had to take him away. They said it was shell fatigue, concussion from continuous bombardment. The other man hanged himself on a rope in the trench. He used an ammunition cord. He just gave up. Long pause. No one stopped him. I think we all understood. Sound of melancholic wind. What about the Germans? Well, we could still hear their cannons too. They never stopped. The officers said, they're dying up there. There are no survivors, but I could hear their cannons firing back. If there were no survivors ... Who was firing? Pause. June 30th. Last night, Lieutenant Williams gave the speech. Tomorrow, boys, we will enter history. The Germans are destroyed. You will walk over, but you will conquer glory. No one answered. So he left. Tone becomes lower, almost whispering. I wrote a letter. I'm not sure why. I knew it probably wouldn't be delivered. Mother, if you're reading this, I want you to know that I spent my life thinking about you, thinking about home, thinking about sunflowers. I'm sorry I won't be able to come back and help in the garden. I love you. I put the letter in my pocket next to the photograph. Pause of 2 seconds. I already knew. Somehow, I already knew I wouldn't come back. Not the same way. July 1st, 7 o'clock in the morning. The bombardment stopped. Absolute silence. For the first time in 7 days. And you know what? The silence was worse than the explosions. Pause of 2 seconds. Officers began checking their watches. Get ready, they shouted. Take positions. Over. Whistles of officers. Shouts of sergeants. Come on, boys. For the king. For glory. The sound of sharp whistle. I was shaking. Literally shaking. My rifle was heavy. My feet were cold. Wet. Next to me was a boy named Charles. He was only 18 years old. He looked at me and said, Do you think we'll make it? I couldn't answer. Pause. The signal came. Over 220,000 men. All at once, we climbed out of our trenches and began marching forward. Straight lines, perfect. Like in training. Officers shouted behind us, maintain formation, advance, terrified tone, and then, sound of machine gun beginning, horrible, constant sound. My God, the sound, I had never heard anything like it. It was like the very gates of hell had opened its mouth. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, bullets passing. Close, very close. Next to me, Charles started running faster, screaming, run, run. Dramatic pause. I think he lasted 20 seconds. A burst of bullets hit him. Started in the chest, ended in the head. He just collapsed. In front of me, his blood splattered on my uniform. I can still feel it. Long pause, heavy breathing, but I couldn't stop. Officers were shouting, advance, don't deviate, advance. So I kept walking, passing Charles's body as if he were just mud. Tremendous pause. Men were falling around me. Dozens, hundreds. The noise was unbearable. Bullets whizzing, bodies falling, men screaming, help, help me, mother. Some screamed at God. Some just screamed. Tone becomes lower, almost dishonest. Me. I didn't scream, just kept my rifle in front. Kept walking. Maybe that was my salvation. I don't know. Other men around me. Some fell, others began to panic. A lieutenant, not ours, saw men in panic and drew his pistol. You will advance, or you die by my hand now. So the men advanced, because they would die either way. What would it matter? Pause. Then we reached the wire. The German barbed wire. Tone of absolute despair. The bombardment hadn't destroyed it. It was still there. Intact. Meters and meters of barbed wire, with barbs so sharp they cut like razors. And as we got close, the German machine guns increased fire, like they had just been waiting for this moment. Sound of machine gun at maximum fire. Men got caught on the wire. Blood streamed. They screamed, let me go, please, let me go. But no one could. No one had brought wire cutters. The British planners simply forgot. Pause. So those men died there, hanging on the wire like insects in a spider's web. Tone broken, almost crying. I managed to go around. I don't know how. I don't know why. I deserved to die just like anyone else. But some wild instinct made me run to the side. I found a small opening in the wire. Got through. Bullets still passing. One grazed my face. I felt the hot air. I felt death passing by me. Long pause. Then I fell into a crater. A grenade crater. It was full of bodies. Some still alive. Some not. I stayed there, breathing heavily, trembling. Above, the battle continued. Boom. Rat-tat-tat screams. It continued and continued. Tone reflective. As if in trance. I must have stayed there for 10 minutes. Or an hour. I don't know. Time didn't work. My brain couldn't process. Then I heard the whistle. Retreat. Withdrawal. Officers were calling the men back. The first attempt had failed. Massively, completely, absolutely failed. Pause. I crawled back through the wire and bodies. When I returned to my original trench, Lieutenant Williams was standing, waiting. You, he said, pointing at me. You survived. I nodded. He looked at me with confusion, anger. I don't know. Why did you survive and Charles didn't? I had no answer. Sound of somber silence. Then he turned and left. I learned later that 19,240 British men died that day. In that single day, Charles was one of them, and I was still breathing. You think that after a day like that, people would say, enough, we can't do this retreat. No, the officer said, tomorrow we try again. The enemy is near collapse. He wasn't. Pause. July. Week after week of attacks. Every day. Same formation. Same tactics. Marching in straight lines toward machine guns. The men who got close to German trenches were ... Well, they weren't men anymore. They were carcasses. Pause. Melancholically I started counting. Every night I counted how many men in my unit had survived. Day 125 alive. Day 218 alive. Day 312 alive. Day 408 alive. Then I stopped counting, because the rate was increasing. Death was faster than before. Pause. One day, a guy named Peterson got wounded. Bullet in the leg. He was screaming in pain, asking for water, asking for his mother. Someone get me, please. No one could. Officer said, he's going to die here. Worse to waste 2 men bringing one who won't survive. Peterson stayed there for 2 days, screaming. On the 3rd day he went silent. When we went to recover his body, there were rats eating him. He was still alive, just ... had no will left to fight. Difficult breathing. Another man deserted, simply left the trench and started walking toward the British rear lines. Officers caught him, had a trial, quick sentence to death for cowardice. Pause of 2 seconds. Executed at dawn, shot by his own comrades. I was ordered to watch. They wanted us to see. They wanted us to know what happened if you refused a suicidal attack. Watching your friend be executed by men you know. Pause. Very long, as if choking. My God. Heavy breathing. One night, I got a moment alone. I pulled out the letter I had written to my mother. The page is destroyed. Damp, practically illegible, but it was still there. I tried to imagine my mother reading it, crying, her son gone. Pause of 3 seconds. I started crying too. Silently, because if officers saw me crying, it was weakness, and weakness meant death. Pause. July ended with, well, no one knows the exact number. 300,000, 400,000. The numbers didn't matter anymore. Just that there were fewer of us. Each day, there were fewer. Desolate tone. August began. Rain, mud, more rain. The trenches turned into swamps. Men sank in mud up to their waist. A boy named Thompson got stuck in the mud. Simply ... stuck. We tried to pull him, but he was too deep. Officers said, leave him. He'll just slow us down. He screamed, asked for help, asked for his mother. We left him there. Pause of 2 seconds. That night, the Germans bombed. Grenades fell nearby. One hit near Thompson. At least he didn't feel anything more. Empty tone. I wanted not to feel either. I wanted to sleep and never wake up. I wanted to go home. To the sun. To my mother. But I kept going. Day after day. Attack after attack. Some days I had ammunition. Some days I had hunger. Every day I had fear. September came. A new sound. A sound I'd never heard before. Zun and clank, clank, clank. Tanks. The officers said, boys, you'll see a machine. It looks scary, but it's OUR machine. It goes forward and you follow. Tanks. Giant iron machines. Pause. Some worked, some didn't. The one that worked was impressive. German machine guns fired at it. Bullets ricocheted. And for a few moments we felt ... hope. Maybe we'll finally win, I thought. The Germans retreated a little, just a little. We managed to advance 1 kilometer, at the cost of, well, how many died that day? I don't know anymore. I lost count in the numbers. Pause. October, cold, wet, deep despair. The men who stayed awake woke every night screaming. Nightmares, terror, complete shell fatigue. A boy who was a soldier with me just started laughing. Hysterical laughter. Hysterically, they had to take him away. Said he had lost his mind. I think we all lost our minds long ago. Pause. Melancholically, one night, I found an old piece of newspaper, months old. It talked about normal life. People working, children going to school, women shopping at the market, men going to the pub after work. Difficult breathing. Was that the world? Was that real? It seemed like fiction. Seemed impossible. How could people be living normal lives while we ... while we died here? Long pause. My sister would be 16 now. That girl in the destroyed photograph. Would she be in school? Would she have found a boyfriend? My mother. Would she be tending those sunflowers alone? Pause. Voice broken. I didn't know. I had no way to know. We were ... ghosts. Forgotten. Reflective. Empty tone. November. Haig finally said, enough. Not because we won. Not because we conquered something significant. Simply ... there were no soldiers left. Those who remained were broken, mentally, physically. Men who had seen things that ... that no human being should see. Pause of 3 seconds. Comrades you slept next to being vaporized. Friends hanging on barbed wire. You yourself walking over bones. Because there was no more room to bury the dead. Pause. The Battle of the Somme ended. 880,000 men. Dead. Wounded. Missing. To conquer. 140 square kilometers. To gain ... nothing. The Germans were still there. Still strong. Just with fewer people. Same as us. Tone almost whispering. So why did we go? The war continued. 2 more years. Until 1918. I survived. I don't know why. I deserved to die just as much as Charles did. As much as Peterson. As much as Thompson. But fate decided I would keep breathing. Pause. The first returned home in 1919. The war was over. We won, they said. My mother met me at the train station. She cried when she saw me. My son came back, but I didn't come back. The body came back. But the man who left home in 1915, that man died at the Somme. Pause of 2 seconds. The sunflowers were still in the garden. My mother had kept them alive. When I saw them, I did something strange. I sat on the ground and cried. Cried like a child. I couldn't stop. My mother held me. What happened, son? What happened? I couldn't answer. How do you describe hell to someone who's never been there? Pause. Melancholic. Now I'm here. Years later, telling this story. 880,000 men died. My friend Charles was one of them. Peterson, Thompson, thousands of others I knew, who I slept next to, who shared my misery. Pause of 3 seconds. People talk about the First World War like it's history, like facts and numbers. 880,000, 1,000,000, 140 kilometers. But these are, voice trembling, these are my friends, my comrades, my companions, men who had mothers, what had dreams, had homes. Pause. And they died in mud, in blood for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Tone almost angry. Haig received honors, promotions, medals. Those of us who survived, we suffered in silence, with nightmares, with survivor's guilt. Why me? Why not Charles? That question never has an answer. Pause. Very long. Every day I think about the Somme, about the sound of machine guns, about the screams of dying men, about the smell. God, the smell. Heavy breathing. My sister asks why I can't be happy, why I'm distant. How do I explain? How do I say that I lost the ability to feel joy when I left my best friends in the mud? Very long pause to 4 seconds. The Battle of the Somme was the death of innocence, not just mine, of an entire generation. Men who believed in honor and glory discovered that war was just madness, pure, absolute, meaningless madness. Final tone, almost whispering if you're hearing this. If anyone is remembering, remember Charles, remember Peterson, remember Thompson, remember the 880,000, not as numbers, as human beings, young men who wanted to go home, who wanted to live, who had mothers waiting, sisters waiting, homes waiting. Pause, but the Somme took them, and those of us who remained, we never left that place. Not really. Part of us died there forever. That's my story. The story of a soldier at the Somme. I'm not famous. I'm not well known, but I was real. Pause. Hundreds of thousands of men like me had similar stories. Some didn't come back to tell them. Charles didn't come back. Pause. If this video touched you, if this testimony of a soldier made you understand that behind each number there's a person, please subscribe to the channel to hear more stories from soldiers. Stories that need to be remembered. Comment. What moment of this journey affected you most? Share. Help keep these memories alive. Next week we'll hear the story of another soldier, from the other side of the trench, from a German soldier who lived that same day, July 1st. Because war affects everyone, victors and vanquished. Pause. Thank you for letting me share my story. Thank you for remembering. And thank you to the 880,000 you were not forgotten. At least not by me.